Take an ordinary laser level from the hardware store, diffuse the beam against a blank wall, and introduce a naturally occurring neuromodulator like DMT. Suddenly, that flat surface shatters into an intricate, self-executing matrix of light and geometry. Typical chemical hallucinations warp, melt, and breathe over time. But the people running this experiment report something different. They describe a three-dimensional, structured language that stays permanently locked in physical space. And it is not an isolated experience. Across dozens of independent tests, different subjects under varying conditions stare into the exact same refracted light and report seeing the exact same characters. The shapes even react to physical geometry. If a subject places their arm in the path of the laser, the symbols projected onto their skin are entirely different from the ones rendering on the wall behind it. We are left to figure out what exactly is happening in that room. It is either a universally shared chemical delusion or an organic bypass that briefly exposes the source code of our reality. Our brains evolved to keep us alive, not to show the universe as it actually is. To prevent constant sensory overload, the mind runs a biological filter, deleting vast amounts of raw data so we can focus strictly on survival. Long before modern pharmacology, ancient mystics recognized this limitation. Eastern practitioners spent lifetimes developing meditation techniques to bypass the mind's internal language and outrun the biological filter, allowing them to perceive an unfiltered universe. This image shows an ancient Kabbalistic text, teaching that physical matter is an illusion. Instead, reality is constructed from 22 foundational wavelengths of divine energy, represented by the Hebrew alphabet. Tradition defines these characters as active structural energy, the code rendering physical space in real time. Millennia before the invention of computers or lasers, isolated scholars arrived at the same exact conclusion. The solid matter we interact with is a perceivable linguistic construct. In Mexico City in the 1970s, neuroscientist Dr. Jacobo Grinberg investigated shamans who appeared to manipulate physical matter using nothing but altered states of consciousness. Grinberg's synergic theory proposed the universe is an informational matrix, devoid of solid form until human consciousness acts as a code reader to process it. Testing this, he isolated two subjects on EEG machines. When one saw light flashes, both brains simultaneously reacted. His peer-reviewed research providing evidence of this connected matrix caught the attention of the CIA and was studied under their classified Stargate project. But before Grinberg could conduct a massive, multi-continent meditation experiment in Kathmandu to definitively prove his theory, he vanished without a trace in December 1994. His disappearance created a 30-year vacuum in the scientific study of this informational matrix, a gap that independent researchers and modern psychonauts are only now starting to fill. The DMT laser experiments function as a chemical shortcut to the extreme meditation states Grinberg study. The compound disengages the brain's survival filter. Without the mind frantically deleting data to conserve energy, the user is suddenly capable of processing raw, unedited visual information. The laser provides the necessary high-contrast physical medium. It gives the newly unfiltered brain a specific point of focus, allowing it to visually read the base-level architecture underneath the physical surface. These three disparate paths, ancient practices of Eastern meditation, lost scientific research in neurobiology, and modern experimental psychopharmacology, are all triangulating on a single point, that reality is an informational matrix disguised as solid matter. If this matrix is real, then consciousness is not a human trait. It is a spectrum of information transfer occurring inside everything, from the rocks beneath our feet to the plants growing out of them. If the universe is constructed entirely of transferring data rather than solid material, then the traditional laws of physics are not absolute. They are the programmable rules of a simulation. This means we are not passive inhabitants wandering through an autonomous physical world. We are active participants, continuously rendering a responsive matrix every time we observe it. If these observations hold, exploring the building blocks of existence might not require a large hadron collider or a multi-million-dollar research grant. Accessing the code of the universe may only require a change in our state of consciousness. The source code rendering our existence has always been present. We simply needed to alter our perception, just enough to finally read it.